But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. For unto you is paradise open, the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared, plenteousness is made ready, a city is builded, and rest is allowed. Yea, perfect goodness and wisdom. The root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness and the mob is hid from you. And corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past, and in the end is shewed the treasure of immortality.
For whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world. And this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. Who is he that overcometh the world? But he that believeth that he is the Son of God. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I also overcame and am set down with my Father in his throne. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches.
Jake about to live, man. Jake about to truly live forever. And how we going to tap in? Through this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which is going to lead us into eternal life. This wisdom is going to bring us into the kingdom of heaven, which starts with the elect. In Lord's will, we are those men. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, and verse 17. And it reads, "For the very true beginning of her," and her represents wisdom, "but the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline. And the care of discipline is love. And love is the keeping of her laws. And the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. Therefore, the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom." So this wisdom is going to bring us into the kingdom of heaven, because it starts with the Lord's men. "If your delight be then in thrones and scepters, O you kings of the people, honor wisdom, that you may reign forevermore." You see? So we're going to reign forever. Lord's willing, we are part of the elect. We about to tap into everything, man. The Lord is going to upgrade us into the knowledge of everything, man.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations, hopefully out there pushing his word and truth. And there's a sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashem Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopefully the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Shai. All right, and what we're going to get into today, all right, is dealing with another World War III update. All right, and it's entitled Path, all right, to Iran. Okay, these past few days, you know, we've seen the uptick, all right, in escalation, all right, between, you know, America being directly involved, all right, with conflicts in the Middle East, okay, and specifically in Yemen. Okay, now what we have to understand how the Middle East is set up, you know, what they call the Middle East, all right, these Arab countries, all right, you know, these Islamic, all right, nations, how they're set up. So what you will have, let's take Lebanon, for example. So Lebanon, all right, is a sovereign, okay, country, It has its own military, the Lebanese military. All right. Now Hezbollah is in, all right, Lebanon. But what you have is the Lebanese government are sellouts to the small hats. And what you will have is a authentic, rebellion to the oppression of the small hats. Okay. And you will get militant groups such as Hezbollah. So Hezbollah that has nothing to do with the Lebanese government. Okay, it's a militant group that's against the oppression of those small hats in Lebanon, and they're backed by, all right, Iran. All right, so when you go to Yemen and you go to the Houthi rebels, okay, the Houthi rebels, okay, are a militant group, okay, that's against the oppression of the small hats, okay, in Palestine, okay, and they're backed by Iran, and the Houthi rebels are a part of the resistance, the axis of resistance, as it's called, all right, which is orchestrated by Iran. Okay, Iran plays the back, and they're pretty much proxies and extensions of Iran in the region. With the Houthi rebels, they're strategically to the south of Israel, and they're right there in the Strait of Hamas. Okay, going through the Red Sea, and they're able to have a major impact on shipping. Okay, that goes from the east, into Israel through the Red Sea. So just to get everything caught up, you had a ceasefire with the small hats and Hamas. So they, things, tensions simmered down, between their conflict with the small hats and Hamas ever since the October 7th event. So during the ceasefire, they was supposed to allow aid to be brought into the Palestinians in Gaza. Well, the small hats, started bombing, and interrupting aid being let in, okay, to Gaza for the Palestinians. So Hamas was like, look, they're not holding their end to the ceasefire. And if they don't hold their end to the ceasefire, we're going to start back interrupting, okay, these shipments, okay, because they had stopped, the Houthi rebels had stopped interrupting the Israeli shipments in hopes that aid would go to the Palestinians in Gaza. All right, so when that wasn't happening, Hamas was like, well, we're going to, not Hamas, but the Houthi rebels was like, look, we're going to crank back up, okay, the interruption in shipments coming through the Strait of Hormuz, going to the Red Sea, okay, going to the small hats, okay, and just the fact that they made that threat, America, under the orders of Trump, started bombing the Houthi rebels, okay, so there was an unprovoked attack from America on the Houthi rebels. So this is where we at now, and we're going to go to some events leading up to where we at. So first, before we get into articles and the video clips, we have to understand that America, all right, starts all the wars and conflicts that we see in the earth. Okay, this is what we have to understand. When you read, matter of fact, let me go to verse 22. When you go to Jeremiah, all right, 50 and 22, it says a sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. Okay, because eventually this thing is going to escalate into great destruction, because we see, tensions escalate. We see certain back and forths, and, it get hot and heavy for a moment, then things, simmer down. Okay, but it's going to be a time, all right, when these things escalate and don't stop escalating until that great destruction, man, which is America going to be completely destroyed. Okay, and rightfully so, because America, okay, is the common denominator of all the conflict that we see in the earth, man, internationally and domestic. Verse 23 says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Now recall all right, America, which we know, is Babylon in the scriptures. It calls it what? The hammer of the whole earth. All right, means that America is involved in affairs throughout the whole earth and is known as the hammer. Okay, and America has, for the longest, all right, used its authority, all right, militarily, economically, to break these nations into pieces, man. Okay, a lot of the poverty that we see, all right, in the world comes from American sanctions, man. Okay, a lot of the poor infrastructure that we see in the world comes from America military intervention in these nations, man. Okay, whether it's directly or indirectly, man. Okay, the coups, no one funds terror more than the CIA. Okay, the CIA, American entity, okay, is the biggest financer and trainer, okay, of terrorism in the earth, man. Destabilizing governments. Okay, America's at the forefront of it. Ukraine and Russia, America had a major part to do with that, man. Okay, but then what America likes to do is start the movie, in the middle, okay, and play the hero. Like it wasn't a lot of events that led to this point with Trump trying to play the peacemaker in Ukraine. Nigga, y'all started that shit. There wouldn't be no war in Ukraine, all right, without America enabling, okay, all right, equipping Ukraine, okay. A Ukrainian, all right, personnel was trained by NATO and American personnel, okay. They get their intelligence, or Ukraine get their intelligence, okay, from America and NATO. So it would be impossible for Ukraine to have waged a war, okay, or be a threat to America, be a threat to Russia on its own. But when you involve America and NATO, that made Ukraine a threat to Russia, man. Okay, so this whole narrative, like Trump is some peacemaking coming in and play the hero. How you gonna play the hero when when you're the progenitor of these wars, man, of these conflicts in the earth? Okay, that's why you even go here, Revelation 18 and 24. All right, let's go here, Revelation 18 and 24, and it says, and in her was found the blood of prophets. All right, and in her is America. Okay, the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that was slain upon the earth, man. And all that was slain upon the earth, man. Because these wars, okay, since America, all right, after World War II, every war that we've pretty much seen, okay, that's been, publicized, okay, been in the news, okay, America played a part in, all right, Vietnam, the Korean War, okay, these wars in the Central South America, okay, Desert Storm, all right, the War on Terror 2001, leading up to what we see now. Okay, even when you see nations so-called at civil war with each other, American CIA is involved in it. Okay, so this whole narrative, like America, is just these peaceful mediators throughout the earth is some BS, man. Okay, and one of these guys, he's gonna get into it. You can tell, he's frustrated at the BS, man. Okay, but I want to go through some events, starting with March the 5th. All right, let's go back to March 5th, the day the 18th. So let's go back to March the 5th, and you had this, brothers did a video on it. I know I did a video on it, but you had the IDF chief, all right, Zamir, declares 2025, all right, a year of war on Gaza and Iran. Okay, now this came out March 5, 2025. Okay, and you go here, it said during the meeting with the IDF General Staff Forum, made up of military top generals as well as some civilian members, Zamir stated that 2025 will be the year of war with a focus on Gaza Strip and Iran, all right, while preserving their achievements and deepening them in other, all right, arenas. Okay, so we seen, the stance that these devils have. We're seeing the spirit that these small hats are in. All right, and they want to go directly at Iran. Okay, and we're going to go into what Trump is saying, and we're going to see how he's gearing everything that he's saying and doing towards Iran. All right, this is why it's called the path to Iran. So this was March 5th, and this is coming from the IDF, General Staff Forum. That look, 2025 is the year of war with Iran. Okay, so this is the spirit that these devils are in. Okay, and let's go here. All right, and this is good news for us, man, because this is exactly the spirit we need these devils to be in, man. This is right on time. you know, I know beyond my brother beyond Yashala tired of working, man. So this is this is good news for us, man. Okay, so you go here. Let's get this article here. All right, so you had that March 5th. Now this is what's the date on this? All right, so this was one day ago. Okay, so it said Trump threatens Iran over ongoing Houthi attacks. So Trump is blaming Iran for everything that the Houthis are doing. Okay, and he's going to emphasize on Iran. Okay, when you read this article, it said President Donald Trump escalated tensions with Iran on Monday, declaring that any additional strikes from the Yemen Houthi militants will be seen as a direct attack from Iran and be met with great force. Okay, so Trump talking that tough talk. Now we have to remember Trump. All right, assassinated. All right, had General Soleimani. Okay, Iran's top general assassinated back in 2020. Okay, a man that was well beloved in Iran and beyond. I believe like 10 million people, came to his funeral. In their region. Okay, so you best believe, all right, that their region ain't forgot about that, man. And Trump, he hits the ground running in Edomite fashion, talking that tough talk. Okay, which America and small hats, they have a very cowardly way that they wage war, against Iran, by assassinate certain officials. Okay, instead of they just going to get at them guys, they do all that coward warfare, which assassinate, certain officials, man, which they call it the a tactic of decapitation, and they try to take out the head in hopes to weaken the rest. Okay, but it's been working against them because, all right, Iran, all right, according to prophecy, is in a position of strength. Okay, in the perfect time, and their strength gonna be shown. It says every shot fired by the Houthis will be looked upon from this point forward as being a shot fired from the weapons and leadership of Iran. It's in all caps. And Iran will be held responsible and suffer the consequences, and those consequences will be dire. Trump wrote on Truth Social. Okay, so that's the threats and the chest beat of Trump. Okay, towards Iran. All right, and you go here. Let's get this. You have the Iranian general. Okay, he responds to Trump's threats. Okay, so it says Iranian general responds to Trump threats. Okay, and you read into it. Hold on 1 minute. Read full article. Hold on. Let me get the article so out. So you go here. All right. And it says Iranian general responds to Trump threats against Houthi rebels. Okay. It says an Iranian, general vowed to respond decisively and destructively to any threats after President
My insurance company raised my
says to any threats after President Donald Trump said he ordered American forces to launch military actions against Houthis in Yemen. We warn our enemies that Iran will respond decisively and destructively if they carry out their threats. General Hussein, all right, Hussein Soleimani, the leader of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, told state media following U.S. strikes over the weekend against the Tehran-backed terrorist group. All right, according to all right Reuters. Okay, and he tells them this Iran. All right, General says that we are not a nation to live in hiding. We are a valid and legitimate system in the world. We announce it if we attack anywhere. Salami, all right, was quoted as saying by ABC News. So this is the Iran general. Like, look, them threats. Okay, ain't gonna move nothing. Okay, you see, with Trump doing this tough talk, and at the end of the day, okay, what we seen America do is get directly involved. You see, under Biden, America did, do a few attacks on the Houthi rebels, but it wasn't, as responsive. All right, like, cause see, this is a response just to a Houthi rebel threat. Okay, Biden, under Biden, America attacked after the Houthi rebels had been interrupting shipments for a while. Okay, then America attacked, but Trump is attacking just based off a threat to start back interrupting based off the small hands not holding up their deal, okay, to the ceasefire. Okay, so we're seeing, all right, America take a more aggressive posture and targeting Iran. You see, and they really want to provoke Iran. Okay, and we have to understand. Remember what we talked about in previous videos that Trump is surrounded by war hawks. Okay, and Rubio, all right, he has this guy Rubio that's in Trump's cabinet. I believe he's a Secretary of Defense. Okay, but this guy, he all right has a major disdain for Iran. Okay, he badly wants war with Iran. Okay, and eventually, hey, he gonna get it, and not only war with Iran, but Russia and China. Okay, and more players as well. All right, so let's get this. Let's get into it. Okay, so this my guy, Larry Johnson. All right, and he get into some things. So it's two videos I want to get into with him. So we're gonna skip around. Here's some minute marks. Okay, and just he's gonna go into what's going on. All right, and Western media is the worst media. All right, in general, but especially when it comes to war. All right, you'll be better off believing the opposite, whatever they tell you. Okay, but these are different war analysts, and they go into these things. So let's let this play, and we'll go from there.
The announcement by Donald Trump himself, there is a new military operation against Yemen, Ansar Allah. He said, quote, "Your time is up. Your attacks must stop starting today. If they don't, hell will rain upon you like nothing you have ever seen before." Well, the United States and the United Kingdom right now are conducting airstrikes. Now, this is in response to Ansar Allah announcing that it was restarting its naval blockade of the Red Sea and targeting Israeli and Israeli affiliated vessels sailing through that economic corridor. Part of the response from Ansar Allah to restart the blockade was because about 4 or 5 Palestinians at day are being killed, and aid has been stopped completely in Gaza.
Trump's hopes of portraying himself as the guy who's going to bring peace around the world has just gone down and been flushed down the toilet. Trump's going to learn a hard lesson out of this, whether he likes it or not. his bombast. Oh, I'm going to rain hell down on you. He's foolish enough to think that the Biden administration was pulling punches and was just doing love taps on the Houthis, that they weren't launching serious military operations. He's going to discover that they're the greatest, so-called greatest military in the world ain't so great, ain't so powerful, and ain't so effective. The efforts to stop mobile launch missiles in Yemen is going to be a fool's errand for Trump, because no matter how sophisticated the U.S. intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance capabilities are, they're not good enough to detect where those mobile missile platforms are. And on top of it, the Houthis have already shot down 500 million, almost $500 million worth of Global Hawks. These drones, they're like go at $30-40 million a pop. The Houthis have been shooting them down repeatedly over the last 15 months. So this is Donald Trump trying to flex muscles, and again, stupidly believing that with threats, with violence, that he's going to stop the Houthis. Well, I judge based upon past experience, the Houthis are very tough customers, and it's going to be impossible for the United States to, quote, defeat them, short of wiping them out with a nuclear weapon. Now, I mean, I'm not suggesting that should happen. That's an extreme statement, but the conventional means that the United States are going to use are going to be limited. And in fact, if he's dumb enough to reinsert an aircraft carrier into the Red Sea along with some cruisers and destroyers, they're going to wind up. This time, one of them is going to get sunk. And so all of a sudden, Donald Trump's going to sit there having lost, being blamed for losing a major ship. So this is, and why is this happening? Because the Trump administration is completely bought and subservient to the Zionist lobby. And they have, instead of pursuing an honest, straightforward peace negotiation, have chosen to side with the extremist Zionists. They fired the chief negotiator for Trump the other day because he had the audacity to treat the Hamas folks like they were human beings. And so now, with Israel engaging in more genocidal war crimes by trying to cut off all electricity, food, and water to the people of Gaza, the Houthis finally stood up and said, we're going to fight back. At least the Houthis will stand up on behalf of the people of Palestine, in contrast to the rest of the Arab world.
Can you please just hear me out? No, all work management platforms are the same. They take forever to learn, and in the end, nobody is.
So yeah, I want to get a few things, just to go into what he was saying. All right, because what we're seeing, all right, is prophecy play out, in America. Yeah, so we're seeing prophecy play out, in America, it's deceived, by pride, and in the mind of America, especially under someone like Trump, which is controlled by Zionists, as he, just stated, America, all right, is bought and paid for, by small hats, and that's why America has an unwavering allegiance to do the bidding of the small hats, and under Trump, we know that he's fully NWO, do boy, and one of the tasks of the NWO, is to go at Iran, that's the last, power in their region that they need to fall, to really have a foothold in their region like they want. Okay, and Trump, all right, is leading the charge. Okay, and you read Jeremiah 49:16, it said, "Thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thy heart, O thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord Yahweh by Shai." Okay, so the terribleness, all right, thy terribleness have deceived thee, because America has been allowed, to be a bully for a long time. Okay, and what we're seeing is America attempt to throw its weight around like it's that same bully. And it's going to be a major surprise, man. It's going to be a major shakeup. Okay? When they, all right, these small hats in America go in Iran, it's going to be a major shakeup. And because Iran has those major allies, Iran can do damage. Okay? But the X factor, all right, through prophecy is going to be Russia and China, all right, which are tightly knit, okay, with Iran. All right, they just did joint military drills, all right, with the Navy, all right, and it's their 7th year in a row that Russia, China, and Iran has had joint military drills, man. Okay, they're not doing this, to hang out. Okay, this is prophecy, man, because the least of the flock, all right, these small hats with the backing of America, they're going to draw out, all right, these other nations, man. Okay, as we always get into it, um, this is verse 20. Just to get into it, said, "Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that He hath taken against Edom, man. You Edomites. See, the Lord has a counsel against you devils, man. While Esau was out here plotting and scheming, he got AI doing this. He got Elon Musk. He got, a war against the Houthis, Hezbollah, Iran, sanctions on China, tariffs. He got all this BS going on. But the Lord has a counsel against this devil, man. So all this madness and gimmicks and, propaganda, and schemes that this devil has in the earth through his wicked counsel, well, the Lord has a counsel against him, man. Okay, and we're seeing the counsel of the Lord, all right, stand firm in the earth, man. Okay, it said that he had purpose against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, all right, which are these small hats, IDF. Okay, because as we see, March 5th, IDF, all right, General Forum, okay, the military generals say that, look, this is the year of war with Iran. Okay, and about a week and some change later, what do you see Trump on? Okay, look, we blaming everything the Houthis do on Iran. Okay, if it continues, Iran can expect a response. Okay, so we're seeing Trump being the do boy, all right, for the elites. Okay, and these small hats, the IDF, man. Okay, says surely he shall make their desolation, their habitations desolate with them, and that's America being the desert, and the land of Israel going to be wiped out. Okay, but it's going to be inhabited by its true people. Okay, America will never be inhabited by people again. All right, just a desert. All right, for desert animals, man. Okay, and this is what this thing is leading to now. When you go from there, let's go back to the video. I'm gonna skip a little bit. Yep, come on. Right there, bro. All right. So let's go to about 13-minute mark. All right.
Do this 7 minutes a day until March 1st. We start this Monday, February 17th. In a week, you'll feel better. In 2
and of this powder keg that had been raging throughout the last year and a half of the Biden administration. I believe that Yemen will strike back, and at any moment, Israel could use any of these potential flashpoints as an excuse to continue fighting, which there's a lot of pressure inside of Israel to do.
Well, if you would have asked me 3 weeks ago, I was voicing some optimism that perhaps Trump by virtue of not having to face another election, and despite having received significant funds from Zionist supporters, such as the widow of a Las Vegas tycoon, that he was actually going to chart a more rational course. And this the negotiator that was appointed to deal with Hamas appeared to fall in line with that. Well, I was wrong, completely wrong. Trump has fallen into the Zionist trap, and he can rattle sabers all he wants. He can thump his chest. He can scream and holler. And if he decides to launch military attacks on Iran, the United States will face a defeat. I'll predict that right now, that the United States is going to discover that Iran is not some weak, vulnerable country. Trump apparently is ignoring the fact that just right now, as we speak, Iran is conducting joint military naval exercises with China and Russia for the fifth year. This is not something recent. This isn't being done just because of latest developments. These things are planned 12 to 18 months out. So it's part of a reflection of the change that Iran has now realized that it's got to work with China and Russia to secure itself. And then the fact that Russia and Iran signed that important security arrangement on January 17th, 3 days before Trump was inaugurated, that wasn't just a coincidence. That was designed to send a message to the West, a message that Trump isn't hearing. So, yeah, I think we're entering very dangerous waters. This Trump's submission to the Zionists, these murderers, these genocidal maniacs, call them what you want, but his surrendering to them is going to be the death of his presidency. It will bring about failure and collapse for him, because he's going to have to end up explaining the loss of military personnel to these, so-called inferior countries. I mean, good God, they want to bomb the Houthis back into the 14th century. They already live in the 14th century, except they've got hypersonic missiles, as Roy pointed out.
Yeah, they live in the 14th century because they've been fighting Saudi-led, US-backed war there for so many years that decimated the country. Before we were talking about Gaza, we were talking about the humanitarian nightmare that the Yemeni people live in, and yet they continue to fight. Given all these threats toward Iran,
All right. And what we have to understand, okay, the Yemenis people, have been, the victims, okay, of a war, with Saudi Arabia, which Saudi Arabia is the biggest arm purchaser from America. Okay. And what we have to understand, there's a lot of hatred in the earth, all right, for the American government and the American military. Okay. In these nations, all right, a brother can post it. Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 5 through 8. Yeah, verses 5 through 8. Okay. Now let's read this here, because eventually what's going to happen, okay, is everyone's going to turn on the small hats in America. Okay. And they're going to get obliterated. Okay. From Russia, to these, all right, what do you call these Arab states? Okay, and everything in between is going to turn on the small hats and on America, man. Okay, now this is brother, the hopeful leg 3, the brother Yaqub, 2 Ezra 15:28 says, "Behold, in horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east." Okay, and says, "Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, and they shall, all right, and they which shall hear them, all right, going down, all right, may fear and tremble." You see? Because it's a different spirit. Like you deal with those men in the East, it's a completely different spirit than what's over here, man. Okay, they look at death differently. Okay, it's a different type of masculinity. Okay, in their region of the earth, man. And when the Lord turns their spirit up, all right, on these nations, man, you know, especially over there, those Arab, all right, those sons of Ishmael, those Edomites, okay, dealing with Iran, okay, it's gonna be a major problem. Okay, and the American military not built, okay, for this kickback, you know, that it's finna face against these nations, man. Okay. In verse 30 it says, um, also the Carmanians, which is speaking of Iran, raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boar of the wood, and with a great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion, all right, of the land of the Assyrians, man. Okay, because that military personnel that's in their region, when this war jumped off, is gonna get obliterated. Okay, Iranian missile and drone attacks alone, before even Russia and China jump in. All right, those Iranian missile and drone systems are going to obliterate. Okay, American military personnel. All right, and infrastructure in their region, man. Okay, they're going to come forth with great wrath. Okay, and with great power. So the scriptures say that Iran is going to come forth with great power. Iran scrap, okay, and America going to find out the hard way, as the scriptures say, which I posted, Jeremiah 50 and 24. It says, I have laid a snare for thee. And see, this is a trap. The way these devils are so bloodthirsty to take down Iran and establish the Greater Israel Project, and you know, move forward with their NWO. Well, this is all a snap. This is all a snare. All right, a trap. Okay, and America is walking right into it because of what? Pride. Okay, and it says, "O Babylon, and thou was not aware, thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord Yahweh by Shema Shai." And ultimately, it's the Heavenly Father that's against America, man. Okay, that's why America, you know, has been weakened. Okay, the power that it once had. Okay, compared to these nations that are increasing in power. You see? So what we're seeing, all right, is the Lord creating, all right, the circumstances needed for prophecy to be filled. As America is getting weaker and these nations are getting stronger, well, it's gonna come a time, all right, and where these nations are gonna march forth, and they're gonna march forth with their missiles, man. Okay, but everything that these devils is doing, they're walking into the snare of their own destruction, man. Okay, everything they're doing politically, you know, geopolitically, war, economically, everything is a snare for these devils, man. You know, he's gonna snare the masses. Okay, but ultimately he's snared. You see, there's no one that's in the bigger snare than Esau Edom. There's no one that's deceived more than Esau Edom. The fact that he thinks that he can pull these things off. Okay, so I got. Did I get that? Okay, yep. This the brother spiritual art 144. So Jeremiah 51 and 11. It said, make bright the arrows. Okay, which is hey, get the missiles ready, man. All right, those arrows going into missiles. All right, and making it bright. Okay, is constantly enhancing the what, man? This technology on these missiles, man. That's why you have hypersonic now. Not only are the warheads much stronger, but they get there much faster. Okay, and that's the Lord open up His armor. Okay, it said, gather the shields. The Lord have raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes, which is Russia, for his devices against Babylon to destroy it. All right, because it let's see, because it is the vengeance okay, of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, the vengeance of his temple, man. Okay, and the Yahweh Shema Shai, the Heavenly Father through his son Yahweh Shai, has some get back to, to deal with these devils, man. Okay, first off, the Esau represents the complete opposite of the righteousness of the scriptures, man. Okay. Plus with these devils, you know, as the Romans, what they did to Yahweh Shai, like, hey, these devils, okay, got a lot to pay for and everything in between. Okay. So, I got, come. Yeah, Esau always 15, 20 steps behind the Lord, you know? You see? So let's go here. I got another one. Play a little bit of this, you know, get a few more. All right. Just want to catch brothers and sisters up what was going on. So we'll play this a little bit and we'll get some more scriptures out of Ratazah.
Do you see the situation right now with Houthis, with Yemenis, with the the new attitude of the Trump administration? What do they want to do with Yemenis, in your opinion?
I think the Yemenis are just a pawn for the Trump team, who's trying to start a war with Iran. This attack on Yemen was completely unjustified. The Houthis had just, been making threats to Israel if they didn't follow through on the ceasefire and allow humanitarian aid into the Palestinians, the people of Gaza, that then they would renew the attacks and shut down the Red Sea. They've honored the ceasefire agreement. They had not engaged in any other attacks. And here, the United States on its own decides to launch, bombing runs. And in the course of it, they've killed, I've heard at least 13 people. There are others have suggested as upwards of 100. But the United States murdered children, and that's exactly what it's murder. This is not incidental casualties. This is innocent blood that the United States has shed, and it really sickens me to see it. And so now Yemen's going to strike back. Reportedly, they've fired missiles 2 straight days at the USS Harry S. Truman, the aircraft carrier. Yeah. So I see no independent confirmation of that. You've not seen the U.S. Department of Defense come out and confirm it. Of course, they haven't denied it either. So I just don't know. We're not seeing any video images, nor are we likely to. But I'm sure that Yemen will respond and will retaliate if they haven't already.
Larry, here is what Rubio said in terms of the conflict with Yemenis, with Houthis.
Why is filing your taxes with Free Tax USA different? Well, for starters, our premium federal tax returns are free.
Of these people controlling which ships can go through and which ones cannot. And so your question is, how long will this go on? It will go on until they no longer have the capability to do that.
Yeah. It seems to me the same sort of attitude on the part of the war in Ukraine, that we're going to fight Russia until they don't have any.
To the bitter end. Yeah, we're with it to the end. Oh, guess what? The end is here. The Trump administration is laboring under the false assumption or belief that the Biden administration didn't launch any kind of serious attacks on Yemen, that the Biden administration was just using pinpricks and just, show They were for all show, no substance. That's nonsense. They kept trying to knock out the Houthi capability and found out it was too difficult to do. These are mobile missile launchers. It'd be one thing if Yemen had fixed military bases and with these, installed missile launchers and silos. Yeah, the United States could probably take those out. But that's not what Yemen has, and they're moving them around. In a lot of cases, the United States has been, bombing decoys. And in the course of this, I looked at perplexity.
So just to explain, all right, what's going on, all right, how, all right, these Arab nations, all right, these Arab nations, okay, these weaker nations, they have a strategy now against the small hats in the West because they know, okay, these small hats, America, certain Western nations, they're going whenever, these Arab states, all right, defend themselves. Well, what happens is America or the West, they use their reconnaissance to see where those missiles are launched from. Okay, so just think of this: if the Houthi rebels do because they're using what you call surface-to-air missiles. Okay, which means they come from the surface and they go to the air. Okay, and then you have surface, all right, land-to-land missiles. They go from the surface and go to another land. So they're able to shoot down American drones. Okay, they're able to shoot down American missiles. Okay, Israeli missiles, and they're also able to strike, different parts, okay, of the region with their missiles as well. So what happens when they do these strikes? Okay, let's say the Houthi rebels do a strike on uh, some ships, some cargo ships going to Israel. Okay, well, American reconnaissance, okay, they pick up where those strikes came from, and that's how they plan their next airstrike. Well, we're going to strike from where those missiles came from. Well, what these Arab states, Hezbollah is great at it. Okay, the Houthi rebels is great at it. So they become more underground and more mobile. So wherever they launch, those strikes from, okay, what they've starting to do is to set up decoy launch pads, but they move the real launch pads. So when America comes through and do their airstrikes and they put on Fox News that they done did 180,000 airstrikes and we done took this out and took that out. Most of the time they taking out decoys. Now, how do you know that those airstrikes are not effective? Because they haven't stopped the Houthi rebels' ability to stop, all right, to interrupt those ships coming through. Okay, because if they, was hitting those launchers like they said they were, the Houthi rebels wouldn't have the ability to interrupt, okay, the traffic, all right, through the Strait of Hormuz coming through the Red Sea. Okay, just like Hezbollah. Hezbollah is still able to attack inside of Israel because everything that Israel has done, all them airstrikes, 1,100 airstrikes in 2 days, but they still not stopping, all right, Hezbollah from being able to fire into Israel. Okay, is the damage being done? Certain people do, leaders, certain key guys sometimes get hit. Okay, but the overall operation is not stopping. So it's not what these analysts call it. These war vets. They say it doesn't stop. All right, the battlefield outcome of all these airstrikes. Okay, so we're seeing the America rev up on these airstrikes, but it's not stopping nothing, man. Okay, it's not stopping the Houthi capability. Okay, to be a factor in the Strait of Hamas. Okay, So we're going to see, Trump, he's more than likely, he's going to rev these things up, him and Rubio, because there was that guy Rubio who was talking, you know. But we're going to see, we can see a very aggressive stance against Iran. They become more and more emboldened. All right. And as we see these things happen, okay, it's working in our favor, man. Okay, this is what we need. Okay, we need. All right, the small has to be on their time. This is what we need. This vile war to Iran is good news for us, man. Okay, because there's going to be a major domino that falls. Okay, leading to our Lord Yahweh. Okay, it said Habakkuk 2:5. This is brother Hopeful Lake 3, the brother Yahweh. Yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man. And when you're proud, you get sloppy, you get tacky, okay? You get overconfident, okay? And this is what the Lord wants these devils to be. He wants these devils to be a proud man so he can showcase his power. Okay, he said, neither keep it at home who enlarges his desire as hell, okay? Because America, has spread itself throughout the earth. Okay, all in the video, always in somebody else. All right, governmental affairs. Okay, creating, disaster if there is no disaster. Okay, he'll just pull up, Esau just pull a protest out of his ass, man. A rebellion, in the Congo. He was like, damn, when it be the CIA and they formulate these things, man. Okay, and it be this man just come in at the end and try to play the hero like he's the peacemaker, but he instigates these things, man. Okay, so going back, and it says who enlarges his desire is hell, he'll never stop. The devil will never say, okay, I'm good, I got enough military scrape money, right? Let me sit my ass down. Okay. Nah, man, he'll never go too far. All right, just like hell could never be satisfied because you could always put, bodies in the grave. And then what does the grave do? It break down the body. Okay, so you never seen the earth not break down. Okay, a body, is always ready to receive, another body. It can't be satisfied. Okay, there's never a waiting list. Okay, on the earth, to break down another body. Okay, it says who enlarges his desire is hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gathered unto him all nations and heaped himself. All right, it says and heaped unto him all people. Okay, so this is the status that America has enjoyed under this beast system. Okay, it is the world being subservient under American empire, man. Okay, the way that he, has these other countries doing slave labor for American countries. Okay, this man has heaped them to himself, as the scriptures say, all people. Okay, this is verse 6. Habakkuk 2:6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his. And it says, how long? All right, and to him that laded himself, okay, with so like yeah, who laid himself with thick clay, okay, which is debt. You see, and most of the government spending is what military by a long shot, okay. And these devils, talking about Doge, saving you so much money. Well, I think the latest, Doge supposedly has saved $500 billion. Okay. Well, do you know how expensive it is to go to a war? Okay, you know it take $2-3 million to fire certain missiles. Okay, so you shoot 50 of them. Okay, in the weekend, cool 150, man. All right, so all this, so overly, they're so concerned about the government, counting the books, checking out. Okay, but when wartime, man, anything that they claim that they save you, man, in wartime is going to be eradicated, man. Okay, so verse 7, it says, "Shall not they rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them," okay, "because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood," okay, "and for the violence of the land," all right, "of the city and of all that dwell," okay, "therein," okay. So what we're seeing, is these nations, all right, have their mind made up, okay, to conspire against Babylon. Okay, you can feel it in the air that America is written out the script on the world stage. Okay, so that's the point. Just wanted to get into that. Lord will. All right, you brothers, um, and you sisters edified, man. So just want to catch up on that. The happenings. We be seeing a little action. We got a little action around here worth reporting. So Lord will, we just keep following, see how it play out, man. So till next time, say shalom, kwam yashala, abad soon, shalom.